hello everyone, and welcome to episode 4. That's right, after a 2-week absence, we are back. This, of course, is War of the Stars, a Star Wars Roundtable podcast. We are coming to you, as always, from deep within the lowest levels of Coruscant, far beyond the watchful eye of the Galactic Empire. And we are joined today with what could be our biggest show ever. We'll get to that here in just a little bit, but first let's introduce the panel. First, they are all part of Breaking the Fourth Wall, heard here on Realm of the Mist. First is the host of the show, Mr. Chris Tali.
Who? Oh yeah, hi guys.
Also joining him today is Eric Batista.
Hello, everyone.
And Matt Cruz.
Good evening. Salutations.
Would you like to buy some dust?
Miss Christina Tali.
How y'all doing?
And we have a very special guest today. One of the reasons. And we just lost the special guest.
Oh, he's there.
I'm still here.
There, we see him.
I don't see him.
I can see you.
I see him just fine.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
He is one of the host of the YouTube channel Dish Tech. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alan Shea.
Right. Hey guys, what's up?
Alan, what's up?
Hey,
Hey.
good to be here.
Good evening.
So, before we get started on the main topic, let's a little bit of news I think we need to go over. Recently, it was announced that the lightsaber, the main lightsaber, the one from New Hope, the one that Rey now has, will officially be referred to as Rey's lightsaber. I know this caused a little bit of controversy in the fandom. It's going to be referred to as Anakin's lightsaber. Just want to get your guys' feel on this. Do you agree with this, or do you think it should still be referred to as Anakin's?
It confirms she's a Skywalker.
No, it doesn't.
It confirms she's a Skywalker. Only a Skywalker owns the lightsaber. First Anakin, then Luke, now Rey.
That's actually, I go with that right there.
Obi-Wan.
She's Luke's daughter, but Obi-Wan's granddaughter.
It was Wednesday, right?
I know, but Tuesday and Thursday.
No.
But it never showed Obi-Wan using the lightsaber.
This is someone else's show.
I think I like the idea of it being called Anakin still, but this is, I guess, like kind of Disney's whole, let's get rid of the old stuff and bring in the new stuff kind of trend,
Yeah.
I just hope she holds on to it longer than Luke did.
Can we talk about it when I'm done? All right.
Yeah, I don't. It should be called Anakin's lightsaber. It should stay that way.
Yeah.
He's the original owner. It should stay that way. That's the way it should be. Just,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, it is kind of Disney trying to get rid of the old, but you know what? If it wasn't for the old, it wouldn't exist. So you know what? Let's give a little due respect at least.
But
that's a good point. Yeah.
To be fair though, before we had the prequel trilogy, the lightsaber wasn't really referred to as Anakin's. It was Earth lightsaber.
It was what?
It was Luke's before the trilogy came out. Prequel trilogy came out. Sorry, it was pretty much referred to as Luke's first lightsaber. It wasn't. Oh, it used to be Anakin's lightsaber. It was Luke's first lightsaber. In all honesty, this isn't the first time that it's been referred to as something other than Anakin's saber. So,
in other words, this lightsaber right here is now Rey's, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
I think you got a point on that, because in episode 4, when Obi-Wan gave the lightsaber to Luke, he didn't refer to it as Anakin's, although he said your father's lightsaber. He wanted you to have this when you're old enough, and he gifted it to Luke.
Correct.
Yeah.
Probably what it means with it becoming Rey's lightsaber is that Luke probably in the beginning of Episode 8 is like, pulling the Han Solo thing, keep it, kid. Like, I don't even want it. That would be my thought. Like, of course I wanted to confirm she's a Skywalker because I want her to be a Skywalker. In the sagas, there has to be a Skywalker. But as far long and short of it is, it's probably
Our audio's cutting out.
Is my audio cutting out?
That's his. It's John's cutting out. Yours is fine on my end.
Oh, we lost John.
While
We
John
lost
tries-
the host.
Yep.
But it's probably going to be something as simple as Luke gifting the lightsaber or passing on the lightsaber to Rey.
Yeah. And it could be like what happened with Luke, where she has it for one movie and then she makes her own. As
Could be.
is the custom. Eventually to become, that full Jedi, you need to make your own lightsaber. So I'm thinking that's kind of what they might do is she'll have it through this movie, and then in Episode 9, she'll have her own lightsaber. And honestly, considering what the weapon that we've seen her with in Episode 7, I actually think it would be cool to see her with a staff saber. Like not like dual-sided, but like a long staff with a saber at the top.
Like a force.
Almost like-
Well, I think a pulse saber would fit her very well as
Yeah.
like an actual dual-bladed pulse saber, similar to what Maul used. I mean, that's the only movie appearance of that saber, and it definitely would fit her fighting style.
Yeah.
I mean, there has been fanfic about, and also non-canon about other types of lightsabers. I mean, I know we've all seen the meme of the Viking one. It looks like an axe. I mean, I know it's just a joke, but it's still an idea of a design. You know what I mean?
Don't. Disney already created a broadsword lightsaber. Let's not make him go crazy.
They're gonna bring
I
that whip
like-
back. That's what they're gonna
I
bring.
like the little cartoon.
The whip I'd be
Oh.
cool with.
Oh, that would be interesting.
That
I like
gives
the
Rey
little
a whole
cartoon
different.
meme they did.
But here's the question. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Of all the different lightsabers, it said lightsabers are getting out of hand. It showed like a mace lightsaber, where like lightsabers coming out of the mace. So this guy looks like Maul with like fake teeth that were lightsabers.
I saw that.
Oh my god!
And the droid with the one that just kept adding blades to it constantly. It was making like a giant grid out of it. And he was just sitting there the entire time, and the thing was just keep building more blades.
Oh
Well,
god!
here's an interesting question. Since the lightsaber is now Rey's, when you think about it, when Anakin lost the lightsaber, he had to lose limbs to do it. When Luke lost the lightsaber, he lost a limb to do it.
Ooh, oh.
Someone's
Yeah,
losing
Rey.
a limb.
Is Rey going to be losing a limb to discard that lightsaber?
You know what? I say, why not? Why not keep with tradition?
A second movie, someone loses a limb.
I actually kind of hope not, because I don't know. I just think that's a tradition that needs to break.
No, I think she should break herself in. I mean, they have to have a flaw. Why should they be that damn perfect?
Yeah.
Well, it's not even about the flaw. It's I look at it as if Luke just hands over the lightsaber to Rey, why would Rey be considered a Jedi? She's never even built her own saber. Luke built his own saber. Anakin built his own saber. Obi-Wan and every Jedi under the sun has built their own saber.
Yeah.
Nobody had a hand-me-down as a Jedi.
Well, at the same time, no one's saying that at this point Rey will be considered a Jedi either.
No.
Luke used that saber before he went under training with Yoda, if you remember.
Correct.
It wasn't until he made the trip to Dathomir in Episode 5 that he started undergoing an official Jedi training, more than, the pointers for about 10 minutes of the movie that Obi-Wan was showing him while they were on their way to Alderaan.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just say Dathomir?
I know,
You mean
not
Dagobah?
that. You mean Dagobah?
Dagobah, yeah, I'm sorry. I used to play Star Wars Galaxies a lot, and that's where the Force sensitive people would end up having to go to get your Force training. So my brain got a little scrambled.
No,
Fair enough.
well, in the Clone Wars, the Dathomir is where... Isn't that where Maul was from?
No.
I thought it was one son of a Dathomir witch.
Oh, the Night Sisters you're talking about.
The Night Sisters.
Yeah,
Not,
yeah.
the Night Sisters.
Yeah, the Night Sisters were from Dathomir.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting they live on the same planet. They just
Yep.
live on different sides of the planet.
An
I'm
interesting fact about Dathomir, also the other major inhabitant that occupies Dathomir are Rancors.
Mm-hmm.
They ride them, right?
Yeah, they
the
can
Night
be used.
Sisters.
Yeah, the Night Sisters use them as mounts.
That's badass.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
Which is also
Alright.
why Barriss, which is also why
So-
Barriss 03 was able to ride the Rancor in the Force Unleashed video game.
This is true.
Okay.
All right, then. So let's get down to our main topic of the night. So through most of the movies, the Empire has always just kind of been there. We never get a real good look at what life was like under the Empire. We just always assume it was this big, monolithic thing that just exists and is bad and is evil because, well, the movies tell us that it's really not until Rogue One. My question for the panel today is, if you're just the average Joe on the street, what do you think it would have been like to live under Imperial rule?
Well,
Chris, start with you.
Well, I gotta answer this question with a question. It really depends on where I'm living, and you know, because I mean,
True.
the Outer Rim felt the least oppression from the Empire because nobody really cared about the Outer Rim. It was kind of like, you know, the scum of the galaxy. They were kind of left alone. Mid Rim felt most of the crush. The Inner Rim, I mean, that was kind of like society's elite. They
Yeah.
were mostly treated well under the Empire. You know, so
I think-
it really depends on where I'm living, and also if I'm directly involved with the Empire. Like, am I part of the government system? Am I part of the military system? Or am I just, you know, a shop owner somewhere? In which case, my most involvement with the Empire would be like taxes.
Well, I think there's a interesting quote in Rogue One, and I don't know if I'll get it right, but it's the scene where Jyn is talking with Saw Gerrera, and Saul makes the comment of, "Can you stand to see the Imperial flag waving over every system?" And she makes the comment, is like, "Well, it doesn't matter as long as you don't look up." And I think that was kind of my thing, is as long as you were just kept your head down and towed the line and just lived your life, you probably were going to be fine. You know, you probably weren't going to see that much of a difference in your quality of life as long as you didn't make noise and try and get their attention. You were probably going to be fine.
Well, there's another question too. Living within the galaxy, am I human or am
This
I
is
an
true.
alien? Because the Empire was very xenophobic. Thrawn was a very rare exception within the Galactic Empire.
Yeah.
So
And it
Well,
also-
it was-
also-
Sorry, go ahead. I was saying it was proven though that there were a couple alien races that were allowed in the Imperial government, such as the Chiss, because the Chiss were very human-like.
Yeah.
but they were never allowed a high standing within the hierarchy of the Empire. Thrawn
Yes, they were.
Thrawn was an exception to the rule because of his master strategic skills.
What about Masamita?
Masamita was an errand boy. He was a glorified errand boy for the Emperor.
Yeah.
He was an administrator, I think. I mean, you know, again, like you said, he played a role, and you know, he was good at what he did, so they placed him there, and he was already there before, you know, the Empire rose. So why break something that works? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
right.
that- I
like
think
you said,
also-
Aaron boy.
I think it also would depend on if your planet had something that the Empire needed, because the Empire was notorious for finding a planet that they had resources that they need, coming in and basically just strip mining it till there's nothing left, and then leaving and saying, "So long, have good luck with that."
Yeah.
You know,
I would say
so
the
I
first
think that would
Death Star.
also depend. You know, yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, if you had any
I think it
type
also depends.
of crystals that they might need,
Yeah.
I think
remember.
that's basically how they built the Death Star. Was just going to these planets that had either crystals or other raw materials that they need, and basically just destroying the planet by strip mining it or doing whatever. But I kind of agree with Chris. As long as you're in the core worlds, if you lived in the core worlds, you're pretty much going to be okay. You might just have to be careful who you talk to or what you said.
I also think it depends on too if we're talking about during the New Hope era where the Galactic Senate was still around, that kind of helped a little bit of a reprieve. If we're talking after the expansion of the Galactic Empire where the Grand Moffs were given direct control of their territories, that's really where the oppression truly started within the Empire, because then you're dealing with the greeds of the Moffs.
Yeah. Also, don't
here's
forget,
another question.
Well, all right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
What I was going to say is like you said, also where you live. You were talking about the core system. The core systems had that, as we saw also in the original trilogies, as agreed upon in all the games as well. Core systems like Coruscant, you'd have to also deal with overpopulation. That has something to do with everything as well. I mean, you saw people lived in guilds and they lived in homes, they lived in crowded cities, but we all, coming from New York, being from Philadelphia, we all know crowded cities doesn't always mean peaceful existence.
Yeah.
Or
if
good.
you live in, I think if you live in the Undercity, you nothing's really going to change. Everything's going to be pretty much the same for you.
So I just wanted to put that in there. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, using a historical, real life historical. If you were to talk to somebody in, say, 1939, 1940s Germany, what life was like, and then compare that to someone living in 1939, 1940s Poland, they're going to, what life was like in Germany or under German occupation. They're going to give two completely different answers as far as how they feel. The Polish. No idea what that is.
Uh-oh, the Empire knows we're here.
Proximity alarm! Proximity alarm!
Oh, man.
I'm making a base on Coruscant was a bad idea. But,
I can make the climb. I can make the climb.
No.
It's okay. I have a disguise.
Anyway, but the person from Poland would probably say, it's horrible, it's awful, it's so repressive. Whereas someone from Germany during that time would say, hey, it's not that bad. I mean, we have relative peace here. We can go out. We can, do what we want and still, have a good time. But, I think it's just, perception. But here's another question. As far as the type of government that the Empire had, I was doing some thinking about this.
Telling you, Philadelphia, you gotta love it.
He's not even living in Philly. Let's be honest.
What happened?
I don't know. We're kind of waiting. We're kind of waiting for
Anyway.
the alarm to stop.
It ain't me.
John's bugging out again. His connection's not that strong.
Must be Comcast.
It's the Empire.
It's the Empire.
They're jamming our transmission.
And particularly after the dissolution of the Senate. What's that? Me?
Oh, we're waiting. You were saying about the disbanding of the Senate? Oh, we lost him again.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, Eric, whoever your neighbor's car is going off, please go kill them.
Are you there?
Yeah, right.
It's not my complex. It's the next one over. It's the same car. It does it every couple nights. Disengage a fucking thing. You can't stand it.
Oh, Eric.
He can't do it on Fourth Wall, but he does it on War of the Stars.
Right?
It's annoying.
I
Which
thought
was
it
more
would be
annoying, the
the
car alarm or chips?
Oh.
No, we're not doing that tonight. Come on!
Can everyone hear me?
Disconnected!
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay. Sorry.
We're more organized, Alan, I swear.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this, but anyway, after the dissolution of the Senate, I started kind of noticing how the empire was set up, and I kind of noticed it seems to be almost set up in a feudal system, where you have, for those of you who listening who may not know how the feudal system worked, it was you had the king on top, and then he would divvy out power because he wasn't able to rule the entire land personally himself, so he would take land, he would say, okay, I'll give you this parcel of land, I'll give you this parcel of land, and you can rule that in my name as long as you give me, so many months of service or something like that. And then those lords would then further divvy the land out, and then further out and further out and further out. And that's kind of how I see how the empire worked, where you had the emperor at top, emperor and invader at the top, and then you had these grand moffs who would have control over these sectors, and then further on you'd have the moffs and then the individual planetary governors. Because I kind of looked at it like, it almost seems like, which would fit in the George Lucas's sort of space fantasy motif that he was trying to put out there, with it being almost a feudal system.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
What I was going to say is how I envision the empire would be closer to, let's go back to the 1700s, to actually probably 1600s, when the United Kingdom pretty much dominated most of the world, and we had colonies all over the place. I would believe that the empire, and I believe that's actually what he kind of loosely based it off of the monarchy of England at the time, where you had all these outer rim colonies, like America, like Australia, like other countries or other planets in this case, that were under direct control by, governed by a governor. They would have a small, military there to keep everything under control in case they tried to go, hey, something, we don't want to put up with this anymore. That's why you saw stormtroopers wandering around on Tatooine, even though Tatooine probably had very little, if any, discernible resources that the Empire could use. So what I really feel is they based it off of more of that kind of system where it was a monarchy, but you had these cells that people wanted to fight back, but they were too afraid to. So I believe that's more what they went for.
I almost got the feeling from A New Hope that the only reason the stormtroopers were there was because of the droid that they were looking for. That otherwise,
that's exactly it.
Tatooine was just kind of like, because Tatooine was under Hutt control. Right. That was part of the Hutts, and I always had I had this idea that the Empire and the Hutts kind of had this working agreement with each other, that they would kind of leave them alone unless they had to go there for something specific, that the Empire would kind of leave them alone and kind of leave them to do their own thing, as long as they didn't, try and undercut them or try any shady business with them, that the Empire would kind of leave the Hutts alone.
Well, I do know Lucas has been quoted before that the Empire was loosely based very much on the structured system of World War II Nazi Germany, where a lot of the government control that was dealt out when they took over territories was generals and platoon leaders of the Gestapo, stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
That would basically be your Grand Moffs, your planetary governors, and stuff of that nature. But it was very military-esque. It's very similar to what Christina was saying with the monarchy dealing out with the lords and all, and the same with you with the feudal. But the military mindset of the empire was meant to be the oppression of World War II Nazi Germany.
It definitely has a fascist vibe to it. Not just
Also, just real quick as well, you said that there was an imperial city on Tatooine. It was named Bespin. Not Bespin, but Bespin. It was actually there was an imperial controlled city on Tatooine. So just putting that one out there too.
Okay.
I think now that we're talking about Tatooine, I think one of the things that I definitely think was a benefit for the Empire, you look at people like Luke and Biggs, basically the Empire was the only way for them to get off that planet. I think there was another novel where it covered another planet called Jalukin, and basically the people there were essentially, it's either I'm going to stay on this planet, do nothing, or I join the Imperial Academy, I become a TIE fighter pilot, stormtrooper, and my life gets that much better. So I think there's that kind of...
Well, I remember, and I don't even think it was canon when it came out, but with the original TIE fighter video game, there was a little short novella that came with, at least the one that I got. And it was basically the story of this young kid on this planet that was racked by civil war. And I think it said he was a swoop rider. He wrote, raced and did illegal racing, and it was one of those things where today he didn't know if he was today. He just tried to survive, and then suddenly the Empire comes in, and the Star Destroyer shows up and says, "Hey, you guys are gonna clean up your act. You're gonna stop fighting, or else." And so this guy kind of viewed the Empire as, hey, these guys came and saved my life. These guys came in and they stopped the fighting. They put law and order to this planet, and he ended up becoming a TIE fighter pilot. And so from that point of view, a person could look at the Empire as almost being beneficial of coming in and ending the fighting in a system, and bringing these different warring factions together and forcing them to sit down and work out their differences. Yes, at the point of a blaster, but still, someone like that. So you can have completely different points of view as to how people would view the Empire.
Yeah, I think also it depends on there are officers at all different levels that were what I would consider the good Imperial. Like Thrawn, for instance, he was usually beneficial to whatever area he was, who tried to limit civilian casualties, right? He wouldn't just go around and, destroying everything. If there was a problem in that area, he would solve the situation, I think, and it would benefit the locals in that system.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember you did that video. You guys did that video on good Imperials. That was really a good video, Alan. Really enjoyed that one. As I do with all your videos. They're very good.
Thanks.
Highly suggest everyone listening check out Alan in Generation.
Yeah,
some really cool videos. Very cool. So
say it again. You kind of broke up his channel.
Sorry. Yeah, it's Generation Tech is Alan's
Generation
channel.
Tech.
Yeah.
I watched. You know what? Yes, I do know you now. I watched the video of if the Empire had come to Earth.
Oh
yes.
Yeah.
That I thoroughly enjoyed.
We got a lot of hate for that one, but yeah, I mean that was a tough one to do because yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the conversation we're having.
I mean, a lot of people apparently would defect to the Empire immediately. So even on Earth, the Empire could be a better alternative for some people. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm not going there.
I really enjoyed your one you did on if the Confederacy came to Earth. I thought that one was really well done.
Thank you.
Far as how the Confederacy. But anyway,
I don't think the battle droids would stand a chance against any of the militaries on on our planet. I think that'd be over quick.
Yeah, they go around in parade formation, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, we could take them down easy. We have the guerrilla tactics.
Yeah.
They run off sensors. Come on, they're made to be destroyed, and basically they're just numbers.
Well, think about this as well. As far as a droid army is concerned, we have the greatest weapon against the droid army, EMP.
Mm-hmm.
All we gotta do is set off an EMP charge. Guess what? All those droids are now fried. All their satellites will be fried. Granted, all our technology will be fried too, which isn't shielded, but we could end that really quick.
Well, we have even better than an EMP. They're all connected through a form of Wi-Fi or excuse the Star Trek techno babble here, but subspace frequency to each other. You know that we have hackers. Why blow them up? We just take them over,
or just jam their signal. We have satellites owned by the government, which that's all they're for, is to jam signals. I'm sure they can find what frequency they're broadcasting on, because it has to be a realistic frequency. If you think about it, it's not going to be something, and just jam that signal. Guess what? Their whole invasion force is rendered useless, including their destroyers.
Then all you got is some sad. Aliens that are sitting there. All we want is peace. Impossible. Nothing can get through our shields.
Yeah, go ahead, EJ. I love you too.
But the Empire was definitely an iron fist regime, and like I said, as far as the fascist
Get our report card.
World War II German mindset, it was never more apparent. All you have to do is look at The Force Awakens and what the First Order became.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know? All right. I mean, Donald Gleason did a great Hitler impression.
We'll look at it tomorrow.
I think the First Order is almost like, you know, early World War II Blitzkrieg Germany, whereas the Empire is kind of like Hitler in the latter years, building super weapons, making tactical errors, you know, engaging Russia, for instance, instead of building a bunch of Star Destroyers, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, even their taking over of companies, that it was almost very much classic fascist in the Italian model of, we'll allow you to keep these private properties, but
you're gonna have to learn to pick up that reading.
Private property and private ownership will allow, but it was very heavily government subsidized, shall we say? Like an example of income being nationalized, and
all right, bye.
Technically they were still a independent company, but they weren't. Which is very much under the fascist model of state control. Not necessarily the communist where the state controls everything, but there's a very heavy-handed. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
See, I would actually kind of agree with you on that point, but I would use a company like Kuwait or Sinar Systems as more of an example than Incom, because Incom was not fully under the Imperial control. That's why if you think about it, Rebels flew same with Cohensayer. Those two companies supplied the majority of the Rebel fleet. Yeah. So if they were tied up with the Empire as tightly as that, they wouldn't have been able to slip out that much equipment without something coming up. So really, like Sinar Systems, Kuwait shipyards, those two. That's all they developed. Kuwait developed the TIE fighter. They developed the interceptor, the bomber. Sinar did a lot of works on the destroyers. That's so I would have used those two as an example more than Incom, just personally.
Yeah. Well, isn't it the other way around? Didn't the KDY company Kuwait build the Star Destroyers and Senior Fleet Systems build the TIE fighters? I thought
you think you're right. You're right.
The Star Destroyers.
I think larger companies like Kuwait and Senior, they had the ability to, I think, maintain some kind of independence, whereas Incom, I believe what happened with Incom was the original staff, like the creative team, the people who designed the X-wing, they all basically quit once the Empire took over. So they snuck off the X-wing designs, right? And then afterwards, you had a replacement staff, but they were designing uninspired starships that definitely weren't up to the X-wing's level. And I think they gutted the productivity of that company. And in that case, I think their takeover failed because you destroyed a great company right there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Most of the mind when they took over, most of the good minds defected. So you basically just had nothing left really to build anything. But yeah, I think that go ahead.
I was kind of off topic, but still kind of on topic. They're getting ready to release the new Darth Vader comic book this month. And I don't know if you guys have heard it or not, but it has been officially now confirmed about the red Kyber crystal being a normal crystal that a Sith pours all his hate and rage into to cause it to bleed, hence why Sith lightsabers are red.
Yeah,
I thought
that is now official canon. Well, they kind of hinted at it, but now it's in print. It's official canon, thanks to this #1 Darth Vader coming out this month.
So it comes as a red crystal. It's not corrupting the crystal, or
no, it's a crystal. It's a normal crystal. Like you could take like Luke's blue crystal and pour your hatred, your malice, your rage into this crystal to the point, and it stresses the crystal so much that the crystal bleeds and becomes a red crystal.
Okay.
Because now they've also made canon that the crystals are living entities as well. That's why they can bleed, and that's why they feel pain, and thus why they turn red, because they are alive. They're not just inanimate crystals as we were previously thought to believe.
Wow, that's really interesting.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I liked the simple explanation that the reason the red lightsaber has a red crystal is because of the fact that it is a manufactured crystal. It wasn't a legitimately found natural crystal. I don't like this new canon. I think that's to me it kind of feels almost Harry Potter. The wand chooses the wizard, Harry. I don't like it.
Well, here's a thought now. If that is the case, I wonder if that's going to be able to bring in the... I'm not going to say Grey Jedi before you freak out, but we know there's been users in the past that some of them are not canon now. I believe there are some that are, that were touched by the dark side at one point of their life, but yet they came back to the light. And usually their color depicting crystal was orange. So I wonder if that's going to bring in the orange crystal as a canon color again. Because it started to heal to come back to its original color. You mix colors. If you ever one as a kid, orange is a red to almost white fade. Or red with yellow or something along those lines. I wonder if that's going to bring in those other color crystals of the people that were touched by the dark side.
We're still waiting for the official yellow lightsaber. I mean, it's technically canon, but we have yet to have ever seen it.
Well, it's in the cartoons, I think. So I don't know if that's considered canon.
Yeah. It was.
Which cartoon? I don't remember ever seeing the yellow.
It was the Genndy Tartakovsky one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was the one with the Rebels, the newest one. They had it in the Jedi Guardians in the temple had.
You're right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
It kind of looked white though. It was like whitish yellow. It wasn't like it was definitely faded.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you already have somebody of a lightsaber of somebody that was slightly, maybe not slightly touched by the dark side, but kind of towed that line with Windu in a purple lightsaber.
Right.
Blue and red, make purple. So you kind of already have that kind of.
Yeah, but with Windu though, that color has already been defined as a forceful user. So somebody who uses his power, just like Mace Windu did use his power when he fought, he was a very forceful, a very aggressive fighter. That's how he fought. So that color It may have been written for his character, like that's okay. This is the meaning of the purple crystal, but however, that's what that is defined as. I'm talking about the people that went to the dark side and came back, such as I know Mara Jade is not canon at this point. She was one. There's several that Revan, exactly, which they need to make Revan.
Yeah.
They need to make Revan canon.
Yes, they do.
His whole story is amazing. They need to make it canon.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so far in the past too, where I don't, is it that big of a difficulty to make a canon?
Well, here's the question: Can a crystal heal? Can a red crystal be brought back to color?
It's a living if it's a living creature, living creatures heal. So I would believe yes.
Yeah.
But it'll never be the same again, just as somebody who was in an automobile accident and lost a leg. Yes, they will heal, but they will never be the same as they were before. So thus why the lightsaber would probably have an orange color to it, or would have something that was tinted by red.
Yeah.
And it would probably be a darker, like a harder to control crystal.
Okay.
Could be.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that out there. Back to the Empire.
Good to know. I'm gonna pick up that comic definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing about this show I noticed is we very rarely stay 100% on topic the entire show.
Well, it depends if Chris is in the board or not.
Yeah, you guys have a lot more solid show when I'm not here. I'm the rebellion's targeting computer. You will miss the target.
Oh, so you mean you're the stormtrooper's aim assist?
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm the stormtrooper target finder.
More useless than Apple Maps.
Ooh, and that's pretty useless. That actually hurts my feelings.
If you had feelings.
Now I'm gonna go make a crystal bleed.
Oh, wow.
Eric, you've been quiet this whole podcast, man.
Except for the car alarm.
Except for the car alarm and calling it and talking to his son on the phone. Any thoughts on the Empire and what it would be like to live under their rule?
I wouldn't.
Oh, good. I'm
Eric
glad we got
was
some
like,
insight
yes.
there.
I would. And right there's the most technical information you're going to hear here. What's it be like to live under the Imperial rule? I wouldn't.
Oh, man.
Answered it
Yeah.
honestly.
Eric's like, yeah, I'll do it as long as I'm like the maintenance mechanic of the Imperial Palace.
No, I said I
They'll
wouldn't.
leave me
do
the
it.
hell. They'd leave
I
me
said
the
I
heck
would do it.
alone as long as I keep the toilets flushing. They're fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Wow.
I don't know. I think it would really depend on, if you're living in the core systems and you stay out of the militarized aspect of the Empire and you don't hold rebellion sympathies. I think Jin had the right ideas. It's not a problem if you don't look up. If you're not,
That's like 95% of the galaxy. You're talking about right there. I think.
Well,
Yeah.
to add to what you were just saying, Chris, I think also if you had his talent or a skill the Empire could use for their own gain, and I think that would also affect your living situation too. Look at oh my God, what was his name from Rogue One? Jin's dad.
Galen Erso.
Galen, yeah. Okay, he did rebel. He left. They brought him back and still gave him everything he needed because they needed him. That he had talents the Empire needed. So I think so. Certain things are forgivable if we can use you, kind of deal.
But at the same time, do you have any doubts that the minute the Death Star was built, the minute it was finished and fully operational, that Galen's life would have been forfeit the second that station was fully operational?
It depends. It depends if he
question.
had something else to offer afterwards. Could he design another super weapon afterwards?
Yeah.
I think Galen, no, but if you guys remember, all the scientists, below him, they were slaughtered, as by what's his face, Krennic, So if you are Galen Erso level, like savant level intelligence, yeah, I mean you're safe, but can your soul bear the the heaviness from what you're doing?
And at least Galen got off better than the Legends version of the man who built the Death Star. Was it Bevel Limisk in Legends? I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
He basically, if you remember, they had the piranha beetles that basically ate him alive, and then they cloned him, and then killed him again, then cloned him, then killed him again, then cloned him, then killed him again.
And then he's never going to get. Then they're not going to speak to him anymore.
Yeah, every time he would fail, they would just kill him in like more horrific ways, and then bring him back to continue building it.
Again, stuff like that is exactly why when Disney announced that they were eradicating the extended universe from canon, I had no complaints. I read it. Everybody's all complaining about it. I'm the first one that said they killed Chewbacca with a moon.
This is true.
Yeah.
With a moon. We can erase that. I'm fine with that.
I'll say I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. That's one point I was always upset with. Was like, he could have survived. They dropped the moon on his head.
There are some. Yeah. Now there are some legend characters that I would love to see be brought in, like Mara, like we said, Revan, characters like that I would love to see be made fully canon. Obviously we're not going to see Jason or Jaina, although we kind of already have with Ben, with Kylo, but
I wouldn't write Jason and Jancia off just yet. I could honestly see if they brought them back, it would be in the next trilogy, and they would be like Kylo's kids.
Or retcon, maybe retconned in.
Yeah.
Basically, they wouldn't be Han and Leia's children, but they would be like a grandchildren child or an ancestry down the line.
Yeah.
You can still have those characters. They just like Thrawn. Thrawn was brought in during the Empire's heyday and the first Death Star in canon. But in the extended universe, it was after Return of the Jedi that Thrawn really rose to power. So, there's nothing that says they have to be in this particular point in canon. They don't have to be Han and Leia's kids to still be Jason and Jancia Solo, the descendant of Han and Leia, or something of that nature. You know what I mean?
I think you're right. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities there. They're bringing Timothy Zahn back a lot. I think he said he wants to do another trilogy, and then there was some artwork. I know you guys probably don't like the New Jedi Order, but there was some artwork of the Yu Zhangbang ships in the Clone Wars. That was scrapped. They thought it would be too confusing to involve it, but who knows if they bring back some more of the EU stuff. I think it's like a repository for all the new canon artists out there.
Well, and that's kind of I did like what they did was they didn't just it was almost like they didn't completely just scrap. I mean, they scrapped it, but at the same time they didn't. They openly admitted that we're gonna rebrand it as Legends, and it's almost like okay, we'll have this off to the side. We'll keep this here. And if there's ideas and characters that we like that we want to build from and take from that, we will. I mean, Thrawn is a perfect example of a Legends character that they said, okay, we like this character, let's bring him in, let's retool him so he fits in to the new canon universe and use them there. So they're not above using Legends material. And turning it into canon. So,
oh my God, I can't believe that just popped into my head now.
What?
It makes sense on what the first line of The Force Awakens. Not after the crawl. The first line from the first character, Lord Santeca, when he was handing over the map to Poe Dameron, he said, "This will begin to make things right." everybody thought it was kind of like a dig at the prequels and how they were ill-received. But really, Episode 7 was the start of the new canon. We just sat here and kind of picked on the extended universe, even though they'll cherry-pick characters, we picked on the way the extended universe went. What if that's what it really meant? This will begin to set canon right.
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just finally popped in my head while we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
It's possible. I mean,
I can't believe you used your one thought.
Yeah.
Yes, I used my one thought for the month. I'm done now.
Yep.
That brain cell now goes on vacation. Oh, man. But, yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting. But also, I think if I lived under the Empire's rule, I think my how it would be would also depend on if I'm in an area that is high priority target for the rebellion.
Yeah.
Am I going to have to deal with the terroristic attacks of the Rebel Alliance? Which, if I'm a good Imperial citizen, I'm going to look at them as terrorists, not freedom fighters.
Yeah.
You know.
And I mean, also,
So am I going to be facing constant threats of bombings and strategic attacks? Is my family going to be safe? You know.
That's a good point.
like,
Well, here's a question I'm going to pose now. Seeing we're talking about living under Imperial rule. If we lived in that...
Very much.
Okay.
It's John again.
There he is.
There he is.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
I was just posing a quick question to the panel, and then you must have been lagging out. So here's the thing. Now, if you lived under Imperial rule, would you as a person, looking at your own personality, would you think you would sympathize with the Imperials or the Rebels? Like, there's an interest.
Rebels.
Same
Rebels.
here.
Rebel.
Yeah, I think I definitely think the Rebels are what I would lean towards, but I do think that there's the Imperials are made a lot more evil than they seem, because I've been a huge Timothy Zahn fan, and I think he has a better kind of portrayal that you don't get to fully see in the movies because there's just not enough time. So I always thought it was kind of interesting. Again, I want to go back to there was this one book, Outbound Flight, that I really liked. And there was this kind of crazy theory that Palpatine had created the Empire, the Death Stars, to basically protect the galaxy from an outside invader. Now, that was the Yuzhang Vong, of course, from the New Jedi Order, but they're saying in the new canon that Thrawn comes to the Empire with a similar worry that there's someone coming. Now, it's probably not going to be Yuzhang Vong, but I kind of think that the Empire, if we compare it to the Republic, and even the New Republic, would probably be a more formidable military force. So I think that's a thing right there.
It's interesting that you just said that too, because there's a famous quote out there, which is, whether you're a hero or a traitor depends on what side of history you are on.
Well, see, that's what I was going to say. Like, everybody was very quick to, let their morals kick in and say, oh, I'd be rebellion 100%, Rebel Alliance all the way. Again, I don't know. I think it really depends on how well the Empire's treating me.
Well,
if I'm one of the privileged of the under the Imperial rule, I'm not going to want to give that up.
Well, I think also, we all answered rebellion, and I wonder if that has something to do with the fact that every one of us here is American. So we grew up in a country that was formed by a rebellion.
Not true there. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I am not American. I am British. I was born in Liverpool, England, and I emigrated with my parents when I was 10 years old.
So in other words, she should be an Empire sympathizer.
I would probably be that Imperial pilot that came over because I just couldn't deal with their crap anymore.
You're Bodhi.
Hey, I like Bodhi, okay? I think Bodhi was cool. We had this conversation yesterday, Matt.
Okay.
You and I had this you and I had this conversation talking about Bodhi.
Oh yeah, I know.
Matt's had way too many death sticks and blue milk. He's out of it.
No. I'm fine. No, but I know what you're talking about.
Talking about death sticks and legends. I think
So,
like one of Skywalker's descendants. Oh.
No, what were you saying? I want to see what you're saying here.
I didn't read this. It was in a comic. I remember seeing one of Skywalker's long descendants was a death stick addict, and
oh, you're kidding me.
He sees Luke in a vision and Luke's like, "What are you doing with the death sticks?" So, yeah, it's
I think I know who you're talking about. It's the one that was a Jedi and then he kind of walked away.
Yeah, it's like really far down. It's
Oh, okay.
I can't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
He was fighting Darth. Who is the Sith Lord who was raised with the Tusken Raiders? You guys know what I'm talking about?
That's great.
Yeah, right. That he was along with that whole storyline.
Yeah. All right. So last question here as we start to wrap up. Basically, the final question: was the Empire evil?
From a certain point of view.
Once again, it goes back to my earlier term that depends on what side of history they're on. On the side of history we saw where the Rebel Alliance won, yes. However, if the Empire won, then the answer would be no. So it's kind of like it's a perspective question more than anything else, I think.
Well, as an outside observer, of course they were evil. They were an oppressive monarchy dictatorship, militarized fascists. Of course they were evil. But like Christina said, if we're living in the world of Star Wars, if we're standing on the side of the Rebel Alliance who believes in the values of the Old Republic, of course we're going to look at the Empire as evil. They ruthlessly took over the galaxy and oppressed its people and stuff of that nature. However, if we're Empire sympathizers, the Rebel Alliance were terrorists. They were ISIS, screwing up our order and security within our empire. So it really is a point of view.
Yeah.
I can't even touch on that. That's pretty much it.
That's on point.
Yeah, I mean it's really it's how do you feel? It's literally what is your moral code? What do you see more of, more to being a problem, being free and independent, being allowed to do as you see fit within a good moral code, or do you want some outside source telling you what the fuck? Oh, oops. So what the heck to do with your life, your money, your time, your occupation, your position in life? Basically, you're a shapeless mass to them, and you're going to be a square peg because we tell you you're a square peg. You're going to be a round peg because we tell you you're going to be a round peg. It all depends on where you stand.
Yeah.
I can't believe you almost said forget about it.
By the way, Alan, it was Cade Skywalker.
Cade Skywalker, yeah.
Cade, right. Yes.
So I cheated and looked it up. Wikipedia, baby.
R2 I know it's not really, because you said Cade already. R2 actually survives to Cade.
Yep.
Oh. Well, R2's telling the entire story, right? That's what they say.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it said. Is that the entire movie is told through the droid's point of view, particularly R2. But
exactly.
Anyway,
that's why at the end of Revenge of the Sith, R2 didn't have his memory erased. Yeah. Which really kind of goes to prove R2's a dick.
Yeah.
He watched all the original trilogy along with Luke and Leia and all them and didn't once turn around and tell them, yo, Vader's your father.
And that girl over there, that's your sister.
That's your sister.
Pucker up, Buttercup.
Killed my buddy over here in gold. Like, he had all that secret and he never once told it to any of them. R2's a jerk.
Well, you gotta give it up for our little robotic buddy. He was just doing what he was instructed to do. He was for the little guy. He defined badassdom for a astromech. He really did. He took a lot of hits and came back and still got the job done.
Yeah.
This is true.
That is true.
All right. Well, my battery on my phone is starting to run low, so let's want to thank everyone for showing up today and make a big announcement today. Starting Saturday at 2 p.m., War of the Stars will officially be a part of the RadioCast FM family, so definitely check us out there along with all the other great shows. You can also check everything else out, all the other shows, as part of realmofthemist.com. Like and subscribe down there. And anybody else got anything else to plug? I know, Alan, why don't you start us off? Where can we find you?
Oh, yeah, guys, you can just find me on YouTube. It's Generation Tech.
Awesome.
That's it.
All right, Chris?
I don't think we have to say anything because you pretty much already plugged us.
Yeah, pretty much.
.com and YouTube, Realm of the Mist.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. And until next time, always remember, may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
You're no good to me, dead.